Hey, what if the reason your life hasn't changed yet has nothing to do with your goals, your efforts, or your circumstances, and everything to do with who you believe you are? Because here's the truth that most people never hear. You don't get what you want, you get what you identify with. And once you truly understand that, your past starts to make sense and your future becomes totally predictable. Welcome back to the channel. I'm John Williams, and here we go deep into the law of attraction, wealth mindset, and subconscious programming so you can create real lasting change from the inside out. So if that's your path, make sure you're subscribed, because today we're not going to be talking about strategies. We're not going to be talking about surface level habits. We're going to go to the level that controls all of it, identity. And I want you to anchor this with a principle that I learned from one of my mentors and coaches, Mr. Jack Canfield. This is something that changed everything for me. E plus R equals O. That's a formula. Event plus response equals the outcome. In fact, I did a video on just that formula, and you can see it after this one right there. You'll notice it. So most people spend their entire lives trying to change the outcome without ever upgrading the identity that drives the response. So that's why nothing sticks. And if you stay with me, I'm going to show you exactly how to shift that identity practically, not conceptually. Most people are trying to improve their life without changing their identity. They set goals, they try new habits, they push themselves. But underneath all of that, they still see themselves the same way. Same limits, same story, same internal label. So what happens? They make progress briefly, but eventually they fall back to their baseline because their response never changed. And their response is driven by identity. Identity will always pull you back to what feels familiar, not what's possible. So where does identity come from? Well, it comes from repetition, experience, and more importantly, meaning. The meaning that you've given to your past. Things like saying, I'm not confident, or I'm not good with money, or I always struggle. And here's where people get stuck. They don't question those thoughts. They actually rehearse them. They continue to rehearse them until they stop feeling like thoughts and actually start feeling like facts, even when they're completely false. This is why change feels difficult, because you're not just changing behavior, you're challenging identity. And identity is designed to keep you consistent. The mind would rather be consistent than successful. So when you try to grow, your identity tends to, at times, to pull you back. Not because it's against you, but because it's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. Keep you safe. Let that sink in for a moment. You're not stuck. You're actually in a pattern. So here's the shift. Instead of asking, how do I get better results? You ask a far more powerful question. And that question is, who do I need to become to naturally produce those results? And it's probably going to be that you need to be disciplined, or maybe focused, or calm under pressure, or maybe even financially intelligent, or maybe even consistent. Because when identity shifts, results stop being forced and start becoming inevitable. Stay with me for a moment. I want you to do something most people won't do. I want you to grab a pen and write this down. The person I am becoming is. Now I want you to really feel the weight of that for a moment, because most people live their lives focused on what they want. They want more money, more success, more freedom. But they never stop to define who they must become to naturally create those results. And that's the shift. Not what you want, but who you are becoming. So instead of saying, I want success, that's vague, that's external, that's something outside of you. We flip it, we bring it to internal, we make it identity. You say, the person I'm becoming is someone who follows through, not occasionally, not when I feel like it, but consistently. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, because that's what someone who gets results does. The person I am becoming is someone who manages money with intention, Now that's different. That means I'm aware, I'm tracking, I'm deciding where my money goes, rather than wondering where it went. That's identity. That's control. The person I am becoming is someone who executes daily, not someone who waits for motivation, not someone who overthinks, someone who moves every day, even if it's one step, even if it's imperfect, because execution compounds. Now, here's the deeper truth most people miss. This isn't about pretending. This isn't about saying words and hoping something changes. This is about installing a new self-image. And your brain, your subconscious, doesn't respond to what you say once. It responds to what you repeat, what you feel, and what you reinforce through action. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just say one statement. Build your identity. Define it. The person I am becoming is someone who keeps promises to themselves, shows up early and prepared, finishes what they start, invests in their growth, thinks long-term, not short-term, responds instead of reacting, takes full responsibility for results. And as you say this, I don't want you to just be thinking it. I want you to be seeing it. I want you to be feeling it. I want you to be acting it out in your mind. Because this is where the shift begins. And here's where it gets real. If your identity doesn't change, your results won't either. You can try harder, work longer, you can push more. But if deep down you still see yourself as someone who procrastinates, someone who struggles with money, or someone who starts and stops, you'll always return to that baseline. This is why most people stay stuck. Not because they don't want more, of course they do, but because they haven't decided who they are. So from today, we change the question. Not what do I want, but who must I become to make that inevitable? And then you start being that person today. Not next week, not when it's perfect, today. Let me share something with you. There was a time in my life where I was doing all the right things, but I still wasn't getting the results I wanted. And believe me, it was so frustrating because on the surface, it looked like I was actually progressing well. But underneath, I hadn't fully stepped into the identity of the person that I needed to become. And the moment I saw that, everything started to shift. Now, I got to tell you, it wasn't overnight because identity changes direction. And direction changes results. And once direction changes, your life follows. So here's something that you can start today. Every morning, ask yourself, who am I becoming? Write it down. Then ask, what would that person do today? And do that. That one question can actually redirect your entire life. If this is resonating with you, make sure you subscribe because every week I help you upgrade your mindset, your identity, and your results. And if you're really serious about this, I've created a free identity shift workbook, especially for you, and you can download it by clicking the link below this video. The workbook walks you through this process step by step. So what have you got to lose? Just download it. It's my free gift to you to help you and also for saying thank you for watching this video through. And if you want to take this even deeper, this is exactly the kind of work that we do inside Magnetic Manifestation Program. It's a 7-module program where we don't just talk about goals, we rewire identity, beliefs, and daily actions so success becomes natural, not forced. I'll drop the link below where you can check that out also. And if this hits home for you, make sure, as I said, you subscribe because this is what this channel is about. Rewiring your mindset, mastering the law of attraction, and helping you become the person who creates the life you actually want. Remember this, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity. So rise to your identity, and your life will follow. This is John Williams, reminding you that your vision, your beliefs, and your emotions are shaping your future right now. Choose wisely, live abundantly, keep dreaming big, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.